Welcome back to another episode of Sexy Marriage Radio. And today, Pam, my lovely wife, we're going to be talking about one of your favorite topics of all time.
Is this sarcasm or the opposite?
Is your favorite topic sarcasm?
No.
I'm not being sarcastic about this either. Today, we're diving into the world of how vacations help create relational resets.
This is my favorite topic.
I figured you'd enjoy it.
Yes.
Because everybody's familiar with the idea of how vacations were slightly different people, if not dramatically different people as a married couple sometimes. Because the whole concept of vacation sex, that it's a class all unto itself, it seems. But it got me wondering why. What is it that makes it so? And then what are some of the things we could do that we find on vacation to start trying to be applied to our everyday life as much as we can, or be more attuned to dynamics that are created in vacation to actually interject some of those components and framework into everyday life with each other as a married couple.
Absolutely.
And so that's where we'll be heading in the regular version. In the extended content, we're going to talk about just different kinds of vacations, just a real quick broad brush, because some people maybe it's foreign. I mean, my family of origin vacation was going to see family or church trips.
That is not a vacation.
That's not a vacation, and didn't realize that until we got married to you. And sadly, we were like 7 years in before we realized that too, of wait, what took us so long to actually do this where it's just the two of us getting away?
I'd say I know what a vacation is. We just didn't have any money when we first got married.
That's fair.
Right? There was no money.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is Sexy Marriage Radio, and we want to hear from the nation. And the way you can let us know what's going on in your world is 214-702-9565 is our voicemail line. Feedback at sexymarriageradio.com is the email inbox, or jump on the Nation platform, which is nation.smr.fm. and jump in some conversations that happen there regularly, because it's a vibrant group of people that are looking to help support each other. And if you want to get in on it a little bit of a deeper level, you can join the Academy, and that gets you the extended content. If you go all the way into the Academy, you get coaching calls and even more content as far as some private areas that have deeper, more nuanced conversations that can happen. And so let's just jump into it, because I want to use this idea of how a vacation creates a relational reset.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it can. Yeah.
Because I think everybody's probably familiar, and we'll just use us as an example of how when we get caught in the routine of life, of the daily schedule, the daily grind, work, parenting, house, dog, all the different things that just take up our time. And everybody can kind of easily get in a mode of, well, I've got that, you've got that, I've got that, and it's just this divide and conquer. We all play our roles. And then we wonder, wow, how come it's all just routine? How come our conversations are just logistical schedule? Who's doing what? Where did the romance go? Where did the desire go? Where did the connection go? And vacations remind us of they're still there.
Yeah. Yeah. And why is that?
Well, a couple of different things that I think of. Obviously, it's a break from the norm. And then generally we're more relaxed because there's fewer responsibilities.
For me, I think that's the key. It's not having all the to-dos. It's, I'm going to go someplace new. I'm going to have an adventure.
Which speaks to you. That's one of your love languages, is something new, which also is a component too, is new environments, which is novelty. It creates something that usually will generate a spark in most people, if not many people. Some people, they don't want the change. They don't like the new environments, so they can vacation in the same things. But even that has less responsibility. So it's a combination of these things that for some people, one will carry more weight than another. And for others, it can be equal.
I think that's an interesting contrast. The people that I'm going to go the same place every year versus I want to see a new place.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go do something new. Both have their positives.
Absolutely. Well, and they also both are, the impetus of both of those is the way a person's wired, where sometimes, you hear these stories of a couple goes on vacation and one person's planned out every minute of every day, every moment on that vacation, because they want to see and explore and experience everything. Whereas the other partner usually is like, I just want a book and an umbrella with a chair under it at the side of the ocean, and I'm going to read and sleep for a couple of days, please.
Which could sounds like, you could have a conflict in a couple that's like, this is supposed to be our getaway and our downtime, and we've got totally opposite ideas of what this should look like. I don't want to dive into the conflictual side of it at this point.
Right. But this is where our wiring can hurt us in some ways, because that's also probably the bent we have at home. And somebody will take more roles or more of a lead on some of these things in a normal everyday thing, whereas the other has a different work mind or different household mind or whatever. But the components that help make a reset possibility is realizing when we're on these vacations, we get a chance to have more bandwidth typically, because it's just fewer or less or different responsibilities, because I get a break from work.
More bandwidth for one another, more bandwidth for
living. Yeah, for just living. Because how many things in life are required to live in a day-to-day environment in our world today? I mean, I think of it in some regards, I've said this in mastermind groups before, that you could, this is a made up stat, but like 90% of our energy is devoted towards surviving in some ways. Working, taking care of the things we own, raising children, taking care of family, watching out for money, earning money, dealing with, it's just things that are required to live. So what do we do with the 10%? This is where vacations come into play in some ways. And how do we dial that so it's even greater maybe? So I can see more of a flow, that I have a possibility of less of the normal day-to-day stress and more of the, how do I reconnect with myself? How do I reconnect with my spouse? Experience something new, enjoy things together, slow down a pace, not have an alarm, whatever it is that speaks to you. That's what creates the more bandwidth. Because it changes, it's just a change of the norm. And then the other thing is, oftentimes there's less pressure on vacations. You can have more playfulness then.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right? I mean, obviously there can be some depending on what you're doing because of the travel, and there could be issues. But even some of that can be an adventure. Those are the things that make them memorable. You think of the different trips we've had where everything went wrong at some point there, and it's like, well, we're just making memories. Yeah. These will stand out in our minds.
Yeah, that's the phrase, right? You're making a memory.
And so it's realizing that whatever it is in our vacation selves, if I can remember, one of the key components that helps create a reset in some ways is I get a chance to see you again without the usual armors that we have on in our regular day-to-day. Because think of how much easier it is to let some little schedule, wish, or want on a vacation roll off your back, as opposed to when you're in a hurried day-to-day environment and, I forgot about that. And now all of a sudden it's a fight about something because you bring up something that's, I thought we were doing that. And then rather than, I was really wanting to go just hang out. Oh, okay. Because maybe things just roll a little easier.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully they roll easier. I would say that you still have that. You still sometimes have that arise, though. It's not like, you get the Adam Sandler bit on Saturday Night Live where he's
if you're sad at home, you're going to be sad on the trip.
Yeah. If you're sad at home, you're going to be sad in Italy. Just because you go somewhere doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a happy-go-lucky person.
Right.
It's all a mindset. I mean, even when you're talking about the 90% of what we do and got to live life, and at some point, that's just who you are, whether you're on vacation or not. So we've got to look for the joy.
Well, and the whole, if we were to sum up the conversation in the regular version, I would capture it with realizing, how am I seeing who I am as a vacation person and a regular everyday role that I play in life person, and blend those two better. Because if I'm more relaxed on a trip, what's to say I can't bring some of that home and just create a different frame, a different aspect? I mean, that's one of the things I've realized in being married to you, that the planning and the looking forward to a vacation with you is also part of the vacation for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then the reliving it and the pictures afterwards is part of the vacation still too.
Well, Well, I mean, it's fun. You know, you get
absolutely
kind of adventure.
Absolutely, because it creates and
tell.
it cultivates something in us. Well, I'm trying to at least let's have a conversation about it's not so much about what we did or didn't do or where it was. It's who we are in that.
Absolutely.
What does that spark in us? That's the point.
Okay.
Because a lot of times vacations actually create a different kind of energy because of that novelty. We might try out different things. We might dress differently depending on where you're going. And so if you're a guy that gets up every day and you put on a suit, I'm going to be willing, you probably don't go on vacation where a suit is required.
Let's hope not.
Unless you just absolutely love wearing a suit because you like the way you feel in a suit, which I'm going to propose that's an option too, that there are some people that absolutely would love that. But you might take risks a little more easily on a vacation. You might test something out a little more easily. You might just relax. Your heart rate may come down. You breathe deeper. You laugh more. You're less tied to a watch or a phone, right? And so those are aspects that if that's what kind of speaks to you as who you are on trips, what's to say you can't carve out time in a normal everyday day to have that as well?
Yeah, I get it. It can be hard, right? Because you come home and here's the career I have. And the career I have demands XYZ, demands this of me. How do I step away from that?
Right. And the mere fact of trying to capture that in our normal everyday day is what can create novelty and the spark of intimacy, because it's a different kind of possibility. That if we wake up, let's go just as a typical, we wake up in the morning and we both just hit the ground running. Of maybe I'll go run, you go run, and then it's get home, clean up, make breakfast, get some coffee, and then we're both off to the day. Vacation might have, I mean, I know for a fact on some of the trips that we would go on, if I was who I am now, I'd still run.
Yeah.
On some of those mornings for sure, because I follow a plan. I really do enjoy it. I like who I am when I run.
That's what I would do at Orange Beach. Get up and go running in the morning.
Absolutely. That's true. And so it's realizing those are part of a pattern that still produce good things. But what is it that helps me interject? Because one of the things that really stands out to me that I've started to incorporate more intentionally with one of my words this year is the word linger. Vacation mornings to me always are marked by lingering mornings, where it's get up, cup of coffee, sit outside if we're in a beautiful location, watch the sun come up. And I've noticed I'll do that now here at our house as much as possible every day.
Yeah, you do.
That's something I really do look forward to, which creates bandwidth. Because then if you're up and around, there's many times you'll come and sit out with me and we get a chance just to sit by a fire or watch the sun come up or share a cup of coffee or something, which those are something that, well, it was kind of born on a vacation trip, but we brought it home and it's just something to implement, and it creates a possibility because it's a little less structured, or it's not as hurried.
Well, you can implement it in choices to eat.
Sure.
Right. Or vacation. Maybe I'm trying new places a lot. You can do the same thing at home. Unless you're just in a little one-stop sign town that has one restaurant, then you're cooking. You're cooking different things.
You can cook different things, or sometimes the value of a good road trip to go try something different.
Yeah.
Because again, it's that I take a little extra time, and that's creating a different possibility together. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many couples, because I know we fit this mold, but how many couples out there in the nation, if they're on a date night, it likely will include some sort of trip to a grocery store or a Home Depot or something.
Walmart or Target.
Which
ours always ends at a grocery store.
Ours always incorporates a grocery store at some point during the night. But it's kind of taking care of some things. But it's also, what else could we find there? Because sometimes we're just kind of wandering through. We had a few things we needed to get, but sometimes it's just a wander. I'm looking for a good slice of cake while I'm in here. Let's wonder if I can find one. And it's just something different. That's the template of who we are while we're on vacation actually playing out at home. That's the whole point of just trying to help us realize vacations aren't an exception. They're just a template that we could try to implement better. How do I pull out who I am to make that part of my day to day more, rather than I just have to wait till my next vacation.
Well, and I'm thinking of the people that were like we were for the first 5, 6, 7 years, where it was just we would go to see family. And they may not have any clue about what we're talking about, right? There's not been an established, the two of us need time together.
Yes.
We need time away from day to day. That's my
opinion. Okay. So let's do this then.
Is people
before we get into some of the options of what we can actually incorporate and how this could look for people as far as what are the options of vacations that I could pull from and also create that I can then hopefully have blend more into my life because there's more of a rhythm to them. So there's some questions to ask of whatever it is. If you look back as a couple where you found yourself more relaxed, more connected, more engaged, there's a little bit more of a spark of intimacy. There's a little bit more of a freedom and less rush, more can dictate how I spend my time. That whatever that kind of environment is together as a couple, each other, have a conversation after this episode, like pause it after these list a few questions. You're going to have this conversation about what felt different between us while we're in that environment. What specifically is different? Not just the environment. What's different in us? And likely one of the first ones is going to be we were less stressed, because that's one of the beautiful things of vacations and breaks in life afford us is less stress. Well, I'm going to be benefited if I can figure out how to incorporate it in my life anyway, however I can.
Absolutely.
But what felt different between us? When or how did I feel most connected to you? And this is where you both get a chance to share that, because you might have variations of what it is that makes you feel more connected, right? And then what did we stop doing that helped us relax? What did we do on that actually helped us? So it was kind of restorative. What was the differences? Because while I maybe can't recreate what or where we went, I can pull out aspects of it to realize, well, I was relaxed more because I wasn't on my laptop all the time. Okay, well, what if I blocked out windows of time to not be on my laptop on a regular basis? Or what if phones and watches were put away on a regular basis and we had a meal this is a no screen meal, maybe even sit outside if the weather allows it, or you just do something a little different, and that's a normal everyday task with a different template laid over it. Because those are the things I think we don't get creative enough to realize the reset it can create for us. And it's just a small little spark that can change so much. In our vacation templates, there can be a real good into finding what speaks to us, what speaks to me, and now how do I recreate that? That's the goal. Because I think most couples look at it. One of the things I love about getting away with you is I know we get uninterrupted time, and most of the time we get a good road trip. And nothing speaks to my wife more. Well, there's several things that speak to my wife, but one of the things that speaks to my wife is closing a door with the windshield and lots of miles of road ahead.
Yes, yes.
Because part of the getting there is part of the fun for her.
Oh my gosh, seeing the sights along the way. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, well, we can create those by just having some drives here, right? I mean, just there's elements of that if we kind of look at it as, hey, come with me on this. Oh, okay. And it's a short road trip, but it's at least it's a recreating of that template. And those can create deeper, closer to the surface over the time connections. And then we can benefit from that because I'm not waiting for the next big thing. I'm just already dealing with what's already there.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing that more into